Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn says a leaked government report on Northern Ireland proves Boris Johnson has been misleading the public on his Brexit deal. The Prime Minister has dismissed the claims as nonsense. RT UK Shadia Evans-Dashbury joins me now. Hi then, Shadia. I'll get your name right next time. Very good one. What's in the latest leak then?
Well, it looks like Jeremy Corbyn has somehow got his hands on a top secret document that's come from none other than Boris Johnson's very own government. And in it seems to directly contradict what the Prime Minister's been saying about his Brexit plans all along.
Johnson has said definitively, and I quote, "There will be no checks between Northern Ireland and Great Britain under his deal." He told the people of Northern Ireland to their faces, there will be no forms, no checks, no barriers of any kind. You will have unfettered access. Then look at page 5 of this confidential report, which will be in your hands in a moment. In private, the government says something very, very different. It says there will be customs declarations and security checks between Northern Ireland and Great Britain. It's there, in black and white.
Now, the document sets out exactly what tariffs and checks can be expected between Britain and Northern Ireland. It includes customs declarations, regulatory checks on goods in both directions. It also says 90% of Northern Ireland exporters can expect really to be bearing the brunt of all of these costs, not to mention high street prices, of course, will increase. Plus, it also expresses that both Scotland and Wales will bear the brunt in terms of their economy.
Well, we have some of those, as you say, economic consequences there, or potential there, but what's the reaction been?
Well, of course, it's just 6 days to go until voters take to the polls on December the 12th next week. And really, this is painting quite a confusing picture. But the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, he's actually gone against these claims and says there's no way, shape or form there'll be checks or tariffs on goods in either direction.
The goods going from NIGB, GBNI will have no checks. The only checks will be for goods that are going via NI into Ireland. Everybody understands that, and that's so we avoid a hard border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. That's a fantastic thing that we've achieved. It's a great deal. Labour has no deal. If there's any particular that the people of Northern Ireland don't like about that deal, then of course they're entitled to opt out of it in 4 years' time.
Well, it might not mean too much right now, but the DUP, of course, were propping up the Tory government in the last Parliament. They also voted down Boris Johnson's Brexit deal. What they're saying is that they cannot support any deal that does not maintain the economy of Northern Ireland, not to mention ensuring the constitutional integrity of Northern Ireland. They're saying today that this leaked dossier is proof that this deal does not do that.
This latest leak from HM Treasury is further demonstration that the Prime Minister's deal would be bad for Northern Ireland. The DUP warned the Prime Minister about this. Despite his protestations, the facts are in black and white. That is why we oppose the deal in the House of Commons and why Northern Ireland needs the deal changed.
Well, later this evening, Boris Johnson and Jeremy Corbyn will going head-to-head in a televised debate. It's the final time they'll be doing so before the general election next week. And no doubt Jeremy Corbyn will be grilling Boris Johnson on this today.
Indeed, Shadia. Yes, the timing of that and that grilling is something I'll be coming to very shortly. Thank you very much indeed. And for more on that and about that grilling and the timing of it as well, I'm going to be talking to Brexit expert Professor John Ryan. John, thank you very much indeed for coming in. Well, let's have a look at some of those points that were raised there by Shadia, but have we, first of all, learnt anything new? I mean, wasn't the information already out there?
The information was sort of implicitly out there, not explicitly. So a lot of trade experts have been saying this all the time. So the fact that they've got hold of this document is, revealing to actually prove a lot of these trade experts correct in their assessment. And it just sort of brings up the fact that, is Boris being economical with the truth, or doesn't he really understand what he's actually signed up for?
So is it a case of, at the timing of it as well, as Shadia was mentioning there, I mean, is it a case of spin, sort of Jeremy Corbyn's playing this up and Boris Johnson's playing it down ahead of the debate?
The debate is one thing, but I would expect not only this leak, but more leaks to come out over the next week. Because why would you do this earlier in the campaign? Why not now actually throw these into the campaign now to actually question the strategy that the Prime Minister has? And this is a real question for him. Where is he going with this? Because this is actually a very important issue, because what does this actually mean? It means two different things. It means basically there's a one-way street. You can get goods into the Republic, get them from the Republic up to Northern Ireland and into GB, but you can't do it the other way. That's the first thing. And the second thing is there's always been a fear that he signed up to the withdrawal agreement as a means to actually getting through a hoop to a point where he can renege on the withdrawal agreement and go for a no-deal Brexit.
Well, then, looking at Boris's deal, on everything that you've just said then, so there have to be, if you go with Boris's deal, some sort of checks, don't you? Where are they? So it's effectively, they're going to be in the sea, are they not?
Well, we've had this, but he's kind of in denial that we have this border there. And this is what the DUP and others are saying. Basically, this is going to decouple the Northern Ireland from the British internal market, which it does. So whatever way he tries to spin this, no one's actually believing the spin.
But it's also coming back to the DUP, as you raised them there. I mean, they don't obviously, as you say, like the deal. But after the election, they might not be the sort of, they might not be a negligible force, haven't they? I mean, they've been able to play power broker up until this point, but they might not be able to after the election. Well,
that's correct. I think, first of all, they've got 10 seats, and I would think that 3 or 4 of those seats are in question, because they've got slight majorities and some of the other parties have dropped out in those constituencies. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if he gets a majority, he doesn't need anybody. But remember, if the gap closes from where it is at the moment, maybe 10% down to 6%, that could bring in a hung parliament. The Tories have got nowhere to go anymore for a party to do a deal with, because the Brexit party's been squeezed. The DUP don't like what he's doing, and so they might be in a tricky position. And we don't know whether the polls are accurate enough. So there's things here that are sort of signals that they're not totally sure. The internal polling in the Conservative Party is showing that maybe they're not as ahead as much as the polling elsewhere is saying.
Well, then, coming back to what Shadi was saying, also the prospect of Jeremy Corbyn giving him a grilling tonight, Boris Johnson, that is. I mean, how do you think Boris will deal with it tonight?
He'll piffle and he'll choke and he'll do his usual thing and say, no, that's, believe me, trust me, I'm the person that you should trust. This is an old document, whatever the story is going to be. And the question is whether Jeremy Corbyn can nail him in that debate. And this very rarely happens. Maybe this is an exception. And Jeremy Corbyn is getting a lot of ammunition now. This is his chance, really, to try and make a game changer for him on this issue. And maybe on the NHS and the US trade deal, another thing that he brought up and where he got a leaked document as well. Mm-hmm. So I think there may be something in that debate that would be beneficial for him.
At that point, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
Professor John Ryan, many thanks for coming in. Thank you.